My name is Olivia, and at 27, I felt like I was drowning in my own life. The relentless cycle of work had left me completely burned out. The very essence of my being felt depleted. I'm sure many of you know that feeling, when the world keeps spinning faster and you can't seem to find the break. You become so entangled in deadlines and duties that you forget the simple joy of taking a breath. One morning, I made a decision. Olivia, I told myself, you need to escape. As I sat on my small city balcony, nursing a warm cup of coffee, my mind drifted to a place from my childhood. It was a quaint, forgotten town nestled in a valley, framed by rolling green hills and fields of wildflowers. It was a place of pure magic, a memory I hadn't revisited in years. Yet a voice deep inside me insisted, "It's time to go back." Without a second thought, I packed my most comfortable clothes, jumped into my car, and drove towards that long-lost sanctuary. The moment I arrived, it was as if I had stepped through a portal into a fairy tale. The air was crisp, scented with pine and damp earth, and the only sound was the symphony of birdsong. It was pure, unadulterated perfection. That afternoon, I found a local stable and went for a horseback ride. It was an experience of absolute freedom. The wind whipping through my hair, the rhythmic thud of the horse's hooves on the trail. I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. It felt like a scene straight out of a movie. I even named my gentle horse Daisy, a name as sweet as the moment itself. Later that evening, I invited a few of my closest friends who lived in the area for a small dinner. I transformed my rental cottage's patio with candles and strings of fairy lights. In the center of it all was a charcuterie board that was a work of art. We laughed until our sides hurt, and as the wine flowed, we delved into the raw, unfiltered stories of our pasts. Tears were shed, but they were tears of release and understanding. There is an incredible power in being with people who truly see you. After my friends departed, I curled up on the plush couch with one last glass of wine and put on my favorite comfort movie, The Holiday. How could I resist? It was the perfect companion for a cozy night in. Wrapped in a warm blanket, with the soft glow of the candles dancing around the room and the charming sound of Jude Law's voice filling the silence, I felt a sense of profound peace. It was bliss. My second day began with a sunrise that could have been painted by a master artist. I woke naturally, pulled back the linen curtains, and the room was flooded with light the color of melted gold. Wearing a simple white robe, feeling an air of effortless elegance, I could hear the birds beginning their morning chorus. I prepared a simple yet elegant breakfast for myself, a flaky croissant, a handful of fresh berries, and a latte crowned with a delicate foam heart. I sat on the porch, wrapped in a cozy blanket, and just stared at the breathtaking view. Dew-kissed grass covered the rolling hills, and a gentle mist lingered in the valley, making everything feel surreal and dreamlike. I whispered to myself, "Olivia, you are truly living." After breakfast, my adventurous spirit took over. A holiday, after all, is an invitation to explore. I drove into the small town and stumbled upon a charming vintage shop, the kind with a little bell that jingles when you open the door and smells of old paper and history. It was a treasure trove of forgotten things. My eyes landed on a delicate, antique bracelet. As I clasped it around my wrist, I felt an immediate connection, as if it held 100 stories within its silver links. The afternoon brought a new kind of adventure. My friends returned, and we decided to try paddleboarding on the nearby lake. Picture it, me balancing on a board in the middle of a vast, sparkling blue lake, channeling the energy of a wealthy aunt summering in the Hamptons. We were filled with so much laughter, especially when my friend Sophia took a spectacular, ungraceful splash into the cool water. She emerged moments later, her mascara streaking down her face, but she was laughing harder than anyone. "I totally meant to do that," she declared. Once our time as water queens was over, we returned to my cottage for the coziest evening imaginable. We lit a fire in the old stone fireplace, its crackles and pops providing a comforting soundtrack. We gathered around a pot of glorious cheese fondue, dipping bread and apples while spilling secrets and sharing our biggest dreams. We even revisited some of the painful parts of our pasts. At one point, Sophia shared the story of her first heartbreak, and soon we were all crying, the kind of messy, cathartic tears that wash away old wounds. Being held in a space of such unconditional love and acceptance is a priceless gift. As night fell, the atmosphere grew even more magical. Candles were lit in every corner. I changed into a soft cashmere sweater, and we opened a bottle of rich red wine. I chose another film, Under the Tuscan Sun, and we all snuggled together on the couch. The room was filled with the scents of lavender and pine from the fire, and the warm glow made it feel like we were inside a giant, gentle hug. But in that quiet moment, a profound realization washed over me. I saw how much I had grown. The old Olivia would have been worrying about the future, overthinking every little thing. But there, surrounded by my best friends in a perfect bubble of happiness, I felt nothing but pure gratitude. The final morning of my getaway began flawlessly. I awoke in a bed so soft it felt like sleeping on a cloud, with gentle sunlight streaming in. The sound of a nearby bubbling stream served as nature's alarm clock, a soft good morning just for me. I put on a chic, beige activewear set and decided to challenge myself with a hike. To be honest, I'm not exactly a seasoned hiker, but the beauty of this place inspired me to step beyond my usual limits. There I was, making my way up a winding trail, flanked by towering trees, breathing in the freshest air. When I finally reached the summit, the view stole my breath away. The entire world seemed to spread out at my feet, a tapestry of green hills, glittering lakes, and an endless blue sky. I stood there, taking it all in, and felt a deep sense of clarity. This was a moment of pure, unadulterated presence. The hike worked up an appetite, so I drove back into town for lunch. I discovered a tiny cafe tucked away on a cobblestone street, exuding major European charm with its small outdoor tables and pots of blooming flowers. I ordered a lavender latte and avocado toast that was almost too beautiful to eat. As I was savoring my meal, an elegant older woman took a seat at the table next to mine. She had the kind of grace that spoke of a life richly lived. We struck up a conversation, and she was simply incredible. She shared tales of her travels around the globe, of falling in love, experiencing loss, and ultimately finding her true self. Her wisdom resonated deep within my soul. "Sweetheart," she said, her eyes twinkling, "the secret to life isn't about having a perfect plan. It's about collecting moments. Moments that make you laugh so hard you cry, moments that break your heart, and moments that make you feel utterly alive. Stop chasing perfection and start chasing the beauty in the mess." I was stunned. Tears welled up in my eyes, mixing with the taste of my avocado toast. It felt as if the universe had just served me a life-altering lesson. That evening, I decided to host a small farewell party for myself. Because why shouldn't we celebrate ourselves? I adorned the backyard with a web of fairy lights and dozens of candles until it shimmered with a dreamy glow. I wore a flowing white dress that made me feel ethereal. My friends came over, and we cooked a magnificent feast together: handmade pasta, roasted vegetables, and a lemon tart that was a masterpiece. After dinner, we gathered around a fire pit, wrapped in warm blankets, and we talked. But this time, our conversation went deeper than ever before. We spoke of our dreams and our most profound fears, the things we rarely dare to voice. At one point, Sophia looked at me and said, "Olivia, you're the glue that holds us together. Your energy inspires us to be better, to dream bigger." Her words touched my heart so deeply that the happy tears started flowing once again. We turned on some music and danced freely under the blanket of stars, laughing until our faces ached. It was a night of pure, unadulterated joy. The next morning, as I packed my car, a mix of emotions swirled within me. A part of me longed to stay in this magical bubble forever, but another part knew this journey had given me exactly the reset I needed. I sat on the porch for one last time, my coffee in hand, and simply existed. No phone, no distractions, just me and the quiet beauty of the morning. I reflected on the whirlwind of experiences, the liberating horse ride, the deep conversations, the chance encounter with a wise stranger, and the profound reconnection with myself. I had found a piece of myself I hadn't even realized was lost. As I drove away, a new promise bloomed in my heart: to continue seeking out these moments of magic in my everyday life. Because life isn't about waiting for the perfect time or the perfect place. It's about creating your own magic right where you are. This trip was more than a holiday. It was a reminder that life is precious and meant to be lived with intention, gratitude, and a heart wide open.